guys, meteorologist Chris Tomer here with this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. And be sure to hit the subscribe button so you get notified when my latest forecasts come out. All right, I want to take you to the setup here. This is water vapor satellite imagery, and this is our bomb cyclone. This is the leading edge of our first atmospheric river setup of this season, and it's a doozy. This is a serious area of low pressure. It's a bomb cyclone because the pressure is dropping fast enough to qualify for that. It's got a rich feed of moisture. Let me just mark this. This is that atmospheric river surge, so additional moisture on top of what you would normally expect being ushered in to the west coast. So that's going to lay down heavy snow from the high Cascades, the volcanoes, all the way down through the Sierra during the course of this event. And it runs 1120 through 1123. That's the full course of this atmospheric river. Now, even beyond that, we're going to see additional storm systems rotate in and deliver overrun heavy snow to Idaho, northwest Montana, and eventually down the road, Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado. So this is not just a one area that's going to get hit. It's going to hit a lot of different places across the Intermountain West. In fact, here is the latest integrated vapor transport forecast. This is how we look and spot the atmospheric river, and this is for that San Francisco Bay corridor all the way up to the Sierra. And you'll notice on this, we're in that moderate category, moderate intensity atmospheric river, right on that entry level for strong, and it runs through the 23rd. But even the effects of this are going to be felt after this through the interior Rockies. Okay, here's my latest timeline. Best odds of snow across the Wasatch, Tetons, Colorado, Tahoe, and interior BC. So, for example, let's talk about Tahoe. Light snow accumulation, you're right on the cusp through 1121. Then you're in it. Tahoe and Mammoth are finally in it by afternoon 22, 23 with heavy accumulation and heavy again 24 and 25. Colorado, it's one shot. It's coming in afternoon 24, 25, and the 26 with heavy snow accumulation. In the Wasatch, afternoon 23 light. Your big shot is on the 24th or the 24th rather, with heavy snow accumulation, then light 25, moderate 29. So your big hit of snow is on the 24th in the Wasatch. Okay, let me just talk about my spider chart. Odds of best snow here for the next 7 days. So more purple, higher on the web, better odds of new snow. That's British Columbia. That's the Cascades. That's the high volcanoes. That's the Sierra. And that's a lot of Idaho. That's northwest Montana. Eventually, that's parts of the Tetons, parts of the Wasatch in general, and parts of the central and northern mountains of Colorado. That's all down the road, but initially, it's a lot of the West Coast. Those are the areas that are going to be favored for this. In fact, let me just show you what the jet's going to look like. So this is the mechanism that's going to be carrying and lifting the air and really delivering this atmospheric river setup. So by the time we get into close of business on Thursday, the 21st. Big trough sitting off the west coast. Jet stream is blowing all that moisture onshore. By 22, next storm system comes in. This is where the jet starts to sink to the south and really include a lot of Tahoe and also Mammoth in on the snow equation. And it's ushering a lot of this moisture up into Idaho and northwest Montana. Okay, so there's 22. Here's 23, more of the same. Now, here's where we start to see a lot of the shift take place. This is outside of the window of the atmospheric river, but still feeling some of these effects. Now, this is where the Wasatch picks up its best accumulation on the 24th. It's where western Colorado and the central and northern mountains start to see the snow increase. It's where the Tetons and Big Sky start to see the snow increase as the whole pattern shifts a little bit further to the south, all the way through the 25th. Then we reload. Next storm system hits the west coast, 28, 29, and that delivers snow to a lot of the interior Rockies. So what does it actually look like on the forecast radar and satellite? So by the time we get to Thursday morning, here we go. Right on the cusp in Tahoe with light accumulations. Right underneath it, the atmospheric river is like a fire hose, and it's pointed directly at Shasta at this point, and a lot of the west coast with overrun into the interior. All right, here's Thursday afternoon. There's Friday. Now, here's where Tahoe starts to get on the equation. Afternoon 22 into 23, you can see the snow shift all the way from Tahoe down to Mammoth. That's the next storm system and a little bit of a southern shift in the track. And look at Idaho and northwest Montana, BC, still getting hammered. Here's 23 afternoon. Now here's 24. Look what's happening on the diagonal. The Jets coming in, starting to lift the air over the top of the Wasatch, the Hyoinas, the Tetons, and Big Sky. And then it starts to target parts of Colorado. The central and northern mountains are in on it through the 25th for heavy accumulations. Still some leftover snow over the top of the Wasatch there. Then still there over parts of Colorado into the 26th. So at least a couple of days, 2.5 days worth. Next storm system moves into the west coast here on 28, 29, and that also brings snow into the interior. All right, here's my snow forecast. So all of the 21st through the 28th, looking at basically 2 to 3 feet for the Sierra. Remember, it snowed even before this for the start of the atmospheric river on the 20th over Shasta. So this is in addition to that. Across the Wasatch, you're looking at probably 8 to 16 for most places. It's possible Alta, Snowbird, Solitude, Brighton are in that 10 to 20 inch range. Very little in southern Utah. 8 to 12 for parts of the Tetons and Big Sky, as well as northwest Montana, and 1 to 2 feet for a lot of Idaho. Really good stuff. Central and northern mountains of Colorado, 1 to 2 feet. Less in southern Colorado. Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, looking at about a foot, foot and a half, and good stuff for interior BC as well. Anywhere from 8 to 16 inches, maybe more, down around Fernie. Okay, let me take you into the Northeast. There is some snow in the forecast, but only above 3,000 feet of elevation. There's a storm system that moves in, and we could see 3 to 12 inches above 3,000 feet. So that's that's parts of New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Mount Washington's going to be the big winner with potentially 1 to 2 feet of accumulation, but very elevation dependent with this during 11/21 to 11/28 for the Northeast. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. Appreciate you tuning in here. Take care.